to another episode of the Y'all Are Crazy Ranch podcast. Super excited because we're going to be talking about the top questions we get asked all the time about having a large family.
All the time.
Almost daily at this point, so we thought, hey, let's address some of those. Let's talk about them because if you have a large family, you probably get asked them too.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're preparing to have one, or maybe maybe you just will find enjoyment out of this.
Or maybe you never thought about it, and now after you hear this, maybe you'll want to have a large family.
Or maybe you're like, oh, I ask these questions to people. It's just funny. Like it's just a regular thing for us.
Yes.
I want to start off with a funny story about one of our kids because you guys love when we share funny stories. So we were watching that All-American halftime show during the Super Bowl the other night. And what's her name? Gabby Barrett came on there, and she was wearing like this really pretty blue suit, and she has long blonde hair, and she was singing, and Branch was like, and he's 3, he said, "Mommy, that looks like you." And I was like, "Oh, Branch, that is so sweet," because she's a very beautiful woman on stage singing. I was feeling real good about myself. And then Barlow, who's 5, said, "No, Mom's not that skinny." And everybody's head just looked at him. And they were like, "Barlow."
And he's like, "What?"
But what's funny is he's just being honest.
Yeah.
He's not
see
trying
nothing
to be
wrong with
mean.
it.
It's just really what he thought, which is also it's kind of sad because it's really what he thought. But I was like, you got to be tough around this house.
You do.
You really do.
You do.
You got to be you can't let things offend you around here.
Yeah.
You just got to roll with it because they're going to just tell you what they think.
Well, kids will just tell you like it is. So they don't think anything about it. They don't understand that it's he's hurting your feelings or nothing. They didn't understand. So,
Yeah.
and those make for some of the funniest moments and memories too. It's hilarious.
So that's a story to start this week off because with a large family, I promise you, there is never a dull moment.
Yeah.
So some of the questions that we get asked regularly, we've got about 5 for you guys. We could do a lot more, but we narrowed it down. The first one, how do you do it all with so many kids?
Yeah. Well, that you can answer that in a lot of different ways, but I would say that it doesn't happen overnight. It's not like we got married and then had 7 kids at one time.
Thankfully.
Thank goodness.
We didn't have, what is it? It's not quadruplets, but whatever the 7 is.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but
7 tuplets.
It's little by little. You get used to it, and you're building, and just little by little, and then all of a sudden you've got a big family, and it's not. I mean, honestly, it's not that hard. It's not as hard as people think it is. There's moments where it is difficult. Mm-hmm. It is.
Sometimes we're living in an insane asylum.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But I think it's, again, it's by God's grace. I think he equips you, and each kid you have is a blessing. The Bible talks about that a lot. And talks about the man that has his quiver full is a blessed man and stuff like that.
It's reframing your mind to that for sure. And we've always viewed it that way. But in today's society, it's very common to view children as a burden or contraception is that the right word? Is so common now that prevention is like what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And for us, we've just never really believed in that. We've always believed in each child is a blessing.
Yeah.
And letting God determine the number of children we have. Now, of course, health concerns, there are things to consider, but thank the Lord we've been healthy, and God, it's not always easy. It's definitely, being pregnant's not always easy. Having a newborn's not always easy. Having a 3-year-old's not always easy, but God gives us grace. He gives us strength. And thank the Lord, we get stronger with each child we have.
We do, and I think that's been one of my biggest takeaways is with 7 kids now, it's and I try to, think deeply about things and stuff like that. I'm more of an analytical mind, but it's when the Bible talks about children being a blessing, it talks about be fruitful and multiply, the kids are just a blessing to your life. And even back in those days, if you had a bunch of kids, you were blessed. That's the way you were considered. Now you have a bunch of kids, people act like it's a burden or what have you. But I would just say that, man, as each kid that we have, it's our family, I feel like gets closer and closer together, and we enjoy each other's company, I don't know, it just feels like more of a special family unit. It's like the bonds grow tighter. I don't know how else to explain it, but it's pretty neat to watch it happen.
Yeah, and you do have to adjust as you have more children or even choose to have children in general. And like as you add more, things will change, you know? Like even women who don't have kids or maybe have one, their careers are going to look different than mine. And I have to be okay with that. You know, they're probably able, if they want to go sell a lot more houses than I have the capacity to do. And being an achiever, sometimes that's hard because it's like I want to compete, but I also have to realize like God's gifted me with all these children, and that comes with a lot. That comes with my number one priority being God, our marriage, our children, our family, and so that means I'm not going to go show houses on weeknights all the time or on weekends. I'm not going to be gone all the time.
Right.
So just the desire for achievements and making more money can't come in front of my family.
Right.
And so that's something that I've pivoted over the years of like, hey, I could do a lot more when I had two kids, and I can't as much now. Or I, you know, and with that, like I have had to hire help. I have had to hire a babysitter that comes twice a week and helps me with laundry, who watches the kids while I go get stuff done because I'm not a stay-at-home mom. I work outside the home. We have many ventures that we do. In addition to me selling homes, we run Airbnbs. I have two very thriving venues. I do speaking events, which I'm getting more into again, and I'm so excited about. Like, I do a lot of things, but it doesn't mean I don't have help. I'm not superwoman. Women often ask me, do you sleep? And I'm like, yeah, like I get 8 hours of sleep a night. Doesn't mean it's always like consistent, because usually I have a baby and like who knows, they're going to maybe be up once, twice a night. Right now, he's sleeping through the night pretty good. That could change tonight.
Yeah.
But it's just realizing it doesn't have to be perfect to be good.
It doesn't. It's true.
So, how do we do it all? God gives us grace. We grow as we go, and you can hire help. You can hire someone to help with your house cleaning, with your laundry, as an assistant. We both, thank the Lord, have an assistant that we share right now, and she takes so much off our plates and enables us to do more because she's doing so much behind the scenes.
Yeah. Thank goodness. I mean, having a good team is everything, but we also live a very intentional and organized life, and the more kids and businesses you have, the more organized you have to be. So
Now,
that plays into it
when
too.
you're very organized, people who aren't organized are going to drive you crazy.
They will, but it's part of it. So you have to be organized.
You have to be organized. And I tell people that a lot of like, how do you do it? And I'm like, I live by my calendar and I'm very organized, because you cannot be a mom of many and not be organized.
Right.
Or it would, and I mean, I know moms who are, but it's very chaotic and their house is never clean and they just feel very frazzled. And I don't want to live that way. I want to live organized and have a plan and live intentional.
Yeah. It's a big part of it.
So the next question, are you going to have more kids? What do you say when people ask you that? Because you get asked that a lot.
Yeah. Now I've been saying probably.
And then they say,
are you serious?
or sometimes, why?
Yeah. And I'm like, why not? And they're like, oh my gosh, like, no, like, oh man. And it's like, where are you even coming from with this?
You know what we hear so often with this is when people say that, and then they're like, don't you want to enjoy the empty nest? Or like, don't you want to like enjoy your life? And we're like, we are.
Yeah, that part is, and it sometimes is concerning, right? But again, it goes back to our Christian faith in the Bible, talking about kids being a blessing and all that kind of stuff, and how you look at that determines your feelings toward it. And so if a person is not that way, they see kids as a burden, and I can't go do what I want because I have a kid. I can't go sit on the beach in Mexico anytime I want to because I've got kids. I can't just sit at home. And I ask them sometimes too, I'm like, what are you going to do when you're an empty nester at 45? Whatever I want. I'm like, okay, what is that? I mean, they don't really have an answer most times.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I'll say, for me, being a part of our kids' life, creating life, watching them grow, enjoying moments, in their lives is like, how can you get more joyful than that? Like right now I come home and, Baxter, who's what, 14 months, 15 months.
Now, yeah.
It's like, he's starting to love me now. Dads, you know what I'm talking about?
Finally.
It's like the first year of their life, all they want is mom. And now he's starting to actually love me. Sometimes I come home and here he comes in his diaper and his little pot belly and he's like a waddling over. He's so excited, wants me to pick him up. And it's like, man, I'm 39 years old. Yeah, just had him 15 months ago, and it's like, that's the joy and it's so neat to have. And it's like, man, I don't want to just be alone by ourselves. And I don't know. You can only do so much on your own without a purpose before you lose meaning in life, is my opinion.
Well, and we've never let having kids stop us from living. And I think that's a big part is we just take our kids and they live with us.
Yeah.
I think it's made life even more rich, fulfilling, exciting. Now, granted, we do a lot of like our kids' activities and our kids' sports, but we love it. Like, we love it. But in turn of that, our kids do a lot with us. Like we've said, we vacation together as a family. And getting to take your kids on vacation is so fun, so cool, and it's making memories for them.
Yeah. And with big family, a lot of times you got to get 2 hotel rooms, you know?
Do. Things have to adjust.
And stuff like that. And it's expensive and it's, but it's worth it.
Yeah. So to answer that question, are we going to have more? Maybe.
Maybe.
That's where we are right now.
Probably.
So that's where we are. We'll see. The follow-up question to that is always, you get asked a lot when you're like with a group of guys and they're like, are you going to have more kids? And you say,
probably.
And then they say, are you serious? And then the next question is, oh, well, your wife must stay home.
Oh, yeah, I get that a lot. And I'm like, no, actually, she owns her own businesses, and a few of them. And they're like, are you serious? And I'm like, well, yeah. And it just completely takes them off guard, which I get is unique, but it's like you don't have to. Like you said, we do life together with our kids, It's not a separation, you know what I mean? And so, but I get asked that a lot. Are you a stay-at-home mom? You must be a stay-at-home mom that homeschools, because my business is successful. So they think, I don't know. That's just what they ask me all the time.
It's just the mold. It's the expectation. And once again, nothing wrong with that.
No.
It just wasn't my calling. And so for us, like, I work because I want to work. Thankfully, we are at a point now of like, for our first 10 years of marriage, I really had to work.
Yep.
Because you were building your business. And because we're married and we do things together and all of our accounts are together and our money is ours, we were trying to build this thing together.
Yes.
And we've been married almost 17 years. So I would actually say for the first, 13, 14, 15 years, like we definitely heavily relied upon my income. Thankfully, we're at a point now of like, we don't have to rely on it as much. It is still important for me to work to have the life we want, but it allowed you to build your business to the point, and I'm very thankful for that. Yeah. But I work because I want to work and I enjoy it and I love building businesses. And I tell him sometimes, I'm like, look, I'm half trad wife and half like I want to make money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I enjoy the growth aspect. I enjoy leading people. And I'm a unicorn. I really am. And if you're a mom that works like, you're a unicorn and people don't always understand us. And that's okay too. But I just say, hey, God created me to hold both. And he wants me to raise my kids well. And he wants me to like, to do this other thing, to lead other people, to do this other thing. And he's asking me to carry both well. And so I'm just trying to live up to that mission.
Yeah. And you can do it.
You can do it. You get asked this a lot too. How do you afford all those kids?
Yeah. I just, you know,
I don't get asked that as much as you do. So
I
this is
do.
a you.
Weren't we somewhere with your parents one time? I think your mom was there, and somebody had asked me that question. Didn't it? Because wasn't she cracking up laughing?
Yeah.
They said that, and I don't even remember who it was or what, but they said 7 kids, and they're like, "Man, how do you afford that?" And I just, I just looked at them and said, "You just got to make a lot of money," and they like didn't know what to say, and I'm like, I mean, it's just true.
Well, you just speak the truth, and oftentimes people don't know what to say because you're just very honest.
Well, it's, I mean, you got to just feeding 7 of them is expensive, you know.
Amen.
So it's like, well, yeah, you got to make a lot of money. You can't like work part time and don't make money. You gotta, you know. And for me, like as a father, I feel like God created us to be like the hunter gatherers. I talked about this on a podcast a while back of like the saying is you got to leave the cave in the morning, go find something, hunt it down, kill it, bring it back home to the family. That's the way I look at like businesses and jobs is like I'm going out and I'm hunting something and killing it and bringing it back and you know providing for the family and stuff like that. And in the marketplace, you got to go add value to other people, provide a great service, then you get a reward and you get to bring it back. But it's like, yeah, you have to do more of that
Right.
with more kids. You can't just mail it in and take a low-paying job and just, you know, have a 9 to 5 that doesn't pay well and you don't work very hard and like you, that's not an option.
And there are, I was going to say sacrifices, but it's just different. You know, sometimes I do feel guilty because I'm like, gosh, I wish I could like make you homemade lunches every day and make everything from scratch and make sourdough bread every morning. And like sometimes I wish that upon myself, but then I'm like, that's just not who we are. That's not where we are. And sometimes I just have to be like, God did not gift me with that desire. I mean, that desire, yes, but that calling, I guess, is the right word. And so sometimes we just have to like realize where we are and be okay with that.
I agree. And I have like a kind of a hot tip on that just popped in my mind, you know. It's like yeah, if you're building a large family or you're working towards some other goal or something like that, don't let society put you in a box. Like, think outside the box and don't think always within the box of society. And kind of what I mean by that is if you think about the 40-hour work week, a dude just made that up in the early 1900s, okay? That's not like a golden rule, okay? Working 8 hours a day out of 24, if you want to get ahead and achieve certain things, you know, you might have to work more hours than the 8. And so don't just fit yourself inside of a box. Maybe you do have a full-time job that's 40 hours a week, but maybe you need to go build another business on the side or work another part-time job or say, you know, to save some money to then make an investment to give you some more income or whatever that might be. But I'm just saying, don't just follow what society does blindly without thinking it through and going, hey, wait, I don't have to just do this. And so for us, that means for me, like we have other business stuff that we do. And business is like I don't know, a lot of days it's on my mind and doing things for lots of hours a day. But you have to do what it takes to provide for your family or for whatever you're trying to accomplish. And anyway.
Yeah, and something that I want you guys to know is like we started from the bottom. We did not start making a lot of money like as soon as we started working. No, we started from down here.
Yeah.
And we have grown that over time. But it was not easy. And if you've known us, and if you known us since the beginning, you know that we are some of the hardest working people that you'll ever meet. We believe in hard work, and we don't think you can get to where you want to be in life if you're not willing to put the hard work in.
No, and it's
just
like
doesn't exist.
a lot of people refuse to work on the weekends. And it's like, man, there's a lot of time on there's 48 hours on a weekend. And it's like, if you just want to watch Netflix or football or whatever it is all weekend and not do anything to help progress or move your life forward, that's your choice. You're making that choice. But there's other people that are putting in the time and the effort and they're building something and they're lapping you week after week, you know, week after week.
When you have a lot of kids, like you're probably not going to get just a lot of leisurely time to chill.
No.
There's just not that. Like I was sitting down last night pumping and I was just literally sitting because when you're pumping, you kind of got to sit down. And my daughter goes, it was like 7:30, something like that. And my daughter said, Mom, you're sitting down. What are you doing? And I'm like, that's weird that she like never sees me sit down.
Yeah.
But when you have 7 kids and you are, running multiple business and you're busy, like you're not sitting down a lot. There's not a lot of that.
Yes.
Granted, God equipped me for that, and I'm not saying you have to be that way because it honestly can be exhausting sometimes. But I just think it's important to realize that it's not always a life of fluff and ease.
No, I would just encourage you to build the life you want, whatever that is, and don't live within the bounds of society. I think do we have President's Day coming up? Is that
Monday.
What is it? Is it Monday? Yeah. I'm not going to not work on President's Day because a lot of people aren't. It's like, no, I'm going to go work. You know what I mean? But like you could easily just like take that day off or whatever day, and just because everybody else is doing it. And it's like, no, those things add up as the years go on. And you don't work anything on the weekends. You don't work past 5 o'clock. You take off all these federal holidays that they just make up all the time and keep adding to. And all of a sudden, dude, it's hard for you to really gain and build. And so I would just tell you, live the way you want to live, but think it through and don't just do what everybody else does just because.
And if you want to live a simple life and you don't really mind how much you make, you just want to like enjoy your life, that's your choice too.
Oh, yeah.
But don't get mad when you aren't where you want to be because you weren't willing to put the work in to get there.
Yeah.
That's where that's coming from.
True.
So, some practical tips I was thinking about of how do you afford all those kids. I think we have to do things that are a little bit different. Like we say a lot, like we eat at home a lot. I make casseroles and crock pot meals a lot, which feeds a lot of people.
Praise God for casseroles.
Yeah, and sometimes I'm like, oh, I made this entire thing for $15.
Yeah.
Well, if we go out to eat with our kids, if we go to Chick-fil-A, it's about, what, $60? Is it more than that now?
It's in the 70s.
75, something like that.
Yeah.
But if we go to a nicer restaurant, it's easily $130.
Oh, yeah.
And I love to go out to eat. Please,
150 a lot of
do not
times with the
get me
tip.
wrong.
So.
I love to go out to eat.
Yeah.
And I think you need to sometimes. But when we cook at home, we do probably eat at home more than most people. We don't eat fast food hardly at all.
No.
Sometimes we'll do like Sonic Burger Night. Here's another tip. But we go on Burger Night.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's Tuesdays and it's half price burgers.
Yes.
So sometimes if we do that, like if we have football that night, I'm like, I got this entire meal for $25 because the burgers were half price.
Yeah, we look for things like that and we utilize them.
Yeah, so we do things like that. Or we used to go to McAllister's. Not as much anymore because it's kind of farther away. But they had 99-cent kid meals.
Oh,
now they're like $2.99 or something. Still cheap, but
they see us coming, they're like, "Dang it!"
Oh man, all of our kids can eat for $6. It was great. So we do look for ways to save money, and then we also pass down clothes to our kids. And so, like, our daughter obviously gets her own because she's the only girl. Our oldest son usually gets the new, but then everybody else gets passed down.
Yeah.
Now, granted, sometimes you have to buy other things, or like the baby, like so many times I give his stuff away and I kind of have to start over because once it passes down through about 3 boys, it's a goner.
Yeah, it's wore out.
It is worn out. But we do really well at passing things down, especially things like coats and things that can last longer because you're not wearing them all the time.
Well, we don't let our kids put a bunch of value on name brand clothing.
That was my next point is we don't buy name brand
Heck
clothing for the most part.
Ain't buying them Nike shoes or whatever the brands are today that are.
Sometimes I do, but it's because they're on sale.
Champion.
That's popular.
That's
now.
popular. When I was a kid, that was like the cheap
brand.
brand.
Cool now.
Now it's like.
Yeah, they look
cool.
for that. But if we do, it's because they're on sale. They normally will get a pair of shoes when school starts, and then they get another one once they outgrow those, or they just get so worn out that it's like, okay, it's time.
Yeah.
We definitely can't pass down shoes because our kids are very active. I do think footwear is important, but I also think like kids are just going to play at recess and wear them out.
And our kids get the Skechers shoes or the whatever the Walmart brand is. What is it? Active Wear or whatever it's called. Or
and we just don't let them find value in name brands. Our daughter's 13 and we see so much of like her friends. She's like, Mom, all my friends have Lululemon. And I'm like, really? Well, that's dumb.
That's dumb. They ain't buying Lululemon.
That's just dumb. I'm sorry. It's just dumb.
Yeah.
So, Lululemon, I have a couple of their leggings, but let me tell you, I have found a brand, I think they call it a dupe, that I like just as much as Lululemon, and it's literally over half the price.
Yeah.
So like, but I'll tell her sometimes, she's like, Mom, you have that Lululemon bra. I wish I had one of those. I'm like, well, sis, I'm 38.
Yeah.
And I have worked really hard so that if I want to buy one, I can. But you're not there, sis.
No.
You're not there.
And you're not buying name brand for 7 kids.
Well, and also, like, you're going to grow.
Yes.
And you won't be able to fit that in 6 months. So that's just not happening. My mom raised me that way, and I'm so thankful. She never let me buy name brand unless it was like for my birthday or Christmas and I got something special.
Yeah.
But it was not a norm. And she taught me how to shop on sale. And when we go to the grocery store, it's like, no, you buy off brands. Some things you may like the particular brand and you get it, but for the most part, like, it's the off brand. You look for ways to save money.
Oh yeah, the great value brands or whatever the Aldi brands are. We do Aldi sometimes,
Well, and our
groceries,
kids don't
but
do travel teams, and that's extremely expensive to do that.
oh,
so
much money.
There's a lot of reasons we don't do travel teams, but that is first of all, it would take too much time away from our family unit. We just can't do it. It's not a sacrifice we're willing to make. I'll say that.
Yeah.
And it'd make us gone all the weekends all the time, and missing church every weekend is not something we're willing to give up.
Right.
It's expensive. That's another reason. And at the end of the day, what's the point of it?
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to say about that. So the choices we make to have a large family, I guess you could say they're sacrifices, but to us, like, they're all worth it. Our kids our kids don't have any technology. Okay? No technology. They play outside. So if you are to see our kids, they are usually outside.
Oh yeah.
And we want it that way.
Climbing in trees, building forts, sawing cedar trees down, stuff like that. But we don't put a lot of value in material things like name brand clothing or, brand new expensive cars. It's not like we're driving a $100,000 SUV.
And they see us doing that too.
Yeah, but they made comments to us before about their friends' parents that have maybe it's a brand new Navigator or Escalade or a very nice Denali SUV, and it's not that we can't afford one of those, but it's like we don't put value in that, and some people, that's where they put their value, and they might have to finance to even buy that thing, and they've got $1,000, $1,200 car payment. And I know this too because I make a ton of money off people like that because then they have to do their insurance, and I love that. I'll insure those cars all day.
And like we said before, we've driven the Escalade. When I was about 30, like, I leased my first Escalade for tax purposes.
Yeah.
And I was so proud of that. So it's like, if you've gone through seasons with that, that's okay. We learn as we grow, and I enjoyed it. But gosh, I'm enjoying driving a paid off car so much more. And it allows me to be like, okay, I can do this because I don't have a car payment. It's great.
Well, I don't remember what the stat was. The average, 2-car household and what their payments are. I saw it the other day. It's getting so high, and I get it. It's a nationwide thing. I don't know if it's a couple $1,000 a month. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Household, yeah.
And for 2 cars, and then you have the insurance on top of that, and it's like, man, just that in and of itself. And then you take name brand clothings out, and then eating at home all the time, making suppers for everybody for $15 instead of $100 and something to go out. It's like all of a sudden you're shifting a lot of money, and saving a lot of money there.
Yeah, and what I wrote down is you make sacrifices for what matters.
Yeah.
So if it's important to you, you'll do it. You'll sacrifice what matters. Just let that sink in.
Yeah.
Last question. How do you spend time one-on-one with each of your children? You see this a lot on social media. Somebody will post a picture or a video of their large family, and then you have these mean people. There's a lot of mean people that like to comment on large families.
Hateful.
Don't know why, just hateful people. And a lot of times they're like, how do you have time how do you give each of them one-on-one attention? That's just not fair to the child.
Yeah, it's nonsense. They're probably at home, not married, living with a cat.
I mean, usually that's the case, honestly, is it's like, that's
that's true, too.
nonsense sometimes.
Jerks.
And sometimes it's just,
like, move on down the road.
You can't respond to those people.
No, just let them go.
But for us, I think, yes, do we have one time with our kids? Yes. We think it's important. Yes, but you can't put so much value in that that you're like, I can't have another child because I'll cut into the one-on-one time. Nonsense.
Yeah.
For us, like, it's so important that we act as a family unit most of the time, or sometimes it's like three boys will go with you to cut down trees. That's great for those three boys.
Yeah.
I often take my daughter to go do something together, or our two little ones, or our son is turning 12 next week. So on his birthday, I love birthdays. He gets a special day to himself, and we're going to take him out and do some fun things. But you can't put so much emphasis on one time that it stops you from having more children, because it's more of a rhythm than a balance, just like life. Our rhythm is to do things together. And, I think when you have a lot of children, they learn not to be so selfish. They learn that, yes, they can have their own identity, but it's about working together to create a rhythm.
Yeah, that's important. And don't let other people's weird, off the wall questions and arguments change your point of view. Like that comment. Like, there's a lot of people that like to like ask a question that is so off base, but they ask it and like hook it in to where it makes you start questioning your beliefs and if you're wrong or not. And it's like that question isn't even relevant. So I would just like don't let people like that change your point of view. You know your family, you know the happiness of your children and what you're raising and how your family is tied together and stuff like that. And don't let other people discourage you and stuff like that. That's it.
And sometimes we'll get asked, like, oh, are your older kids, I feel sorry for them. Like, are they just raising the little ones? And that's very common, a common question asked to large families.
Yeah.
And I just think there's so much value in your older kids helping with your younger kids. Our big kids are like the most amazing with their little siblings.
Yeah.
And like their little siblings are like, they're my favorite people in the whole wide world. They just look up to them so much. And it's making them, our older kids, responsible. They're going to be such great moms and dads and spouses. And I think it makes them better. I don't think they ever feel like chained to helping. I think they love it.
Yeah.
And they're going to be so much more prepared for life, because honestly, life is not all about you. And it's not all about selfishness and what you want. It's about working together.
Yeah, and it's just weird because we don't ask people those type of derogatory questions or come at people for the way that they want to live. I don't care how you want to live. You do what you want to do. But like people will come at us like that, and that's just always interesting. It's like, dude, why do you even care? Like, I don't even know who you are.
Just because it's different.
Just because it's different.
Don't be afraid to be different. Live the life you want and the life that God has called you to.
Yeah.
Because if he calls you, he will equip you.
Yep. Amen to that.
See you next time. I hope you enjoyed this week. I hope it was fulfilling, life-giving, and it helps you build the life that you want to live.
Yep. Till next time.
See you next time.